and welcome to the See-Through podcast. We're joined today by Salvatore of Lucan, who's an artist who lives in Dublin. Hello, how are you?
Good. Hello.
Yeah. Sal, we'll start off nice and easy. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your initial interest in art, how you began?
So you said my name. I'm a painter.
Mm-hmm.
And my initial, I was just always drew since I was a kid. So
Did you start to draw like before school when you were like, or was it something that you did in school? Or
definitely like since primary school, I got a lot of praise for drawings off teachers and stuff. Or like, I always wanted to be the best in the class kind of thing.
Yeah. Is it something you did at home?
Yeah, definitely drew a lot when I was a kid. I probably like I started painting when I was like 16. Because my art teacher showed us like Francis Bacon and Lucian Freud and David Hockney.
Yeah.
We got a new art teacher in 6th year, and then in 5th year, she started showing us kind of contemporary art or like more contemporary artists than the Renaissance or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I started painting when I saw them. I kind of wanted to study fashion when I was a kid, from most of primary school through to secondary school, and then
Interesting.
When I saw those paintings, especially Bacon's paintings, when I saw Bacon's paintings, I thought like, paintings are really good.
I love these.
Yeah, that's really good.
And where were you in secondary school?
CBS in Lucan.
Oh, yeah, very good. Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah, no, I have heard of it actually. Yeah.
Represent. Yeah. So, do you remember what the kind of subjects were of your first few drawings when you were a kid? What kind of interested you most?
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, like child.
Yeah.
As a child, like I definitely went through a dark period. I think I remember like around the ages of like 11, 12, 13, I used to draw like a guy who would do graffiti, like who had like a bandana and a hoodie on.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And then like not graffiti, just a guy doing
just
graffiti.
the guy doing it, yeah.
And then I don't want to say that. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of things.
Yeah.
I will say it. When I was making my portfolio for NCAD, one of the headings that you had to make work about or mind maps was enclosures.
Okay.
So then I did stuff that like I brought the Holocaust into it, and I was doing drawings of Holocaust survivors or Holocaust victims in the concentration camps.
Yeah.
And then I did a life-sized one on my bedroom wall.
Okay.
Then it was regrettable. Then I painted over it quite quickly.
Yeah.
I got carried away and was like, I'll make one real life size.
It's like, now I have to sleep at the end of it. I'm really scared.
Yeah, as the volume and the size and the form changes, the subject matter slightly. Yeah.
But then seriously painting, or like when I decided to take up oil painting and do that. I think my first painting I tried to do with my girlfriend at the time, but I just messed it up so much it turned into kind of a weird monster. And then first paintings were all of me, my ma, and my nan, I think, mainly.
Very
just from life, because I thought I heard from life was better.
Yeah.
Apparently,
yeah.
Apparently, it is actually better in lots of ways. But
talk to us about kind of when you go to like put a work together now. What do you start with? What's the first thing you do?
Like it's different every time, really, to be honest. Like if it's a very large painting and I'm taking it really seriously, I'll draw and compose for like maybe even a few weeks or months, just trying to make sure it's all right before I start it, because obviously if you start a huge painting and you haven't worked it all out first, you could end up wasting a month or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Wanting to get rid of it. But then, other ways I start, much more just intuitively, just painting what bit of the painting I want to paint at any point in time.
Yeah. So, do you prefer to kind of keep the composition imaginative, or do you work it out before? Do you know what I mean? Do you know exactly what you're going to do based on the scale? I suppose
I'd lay it out to a certain degree, but then even within the plan, there'd be room for intuition. You know what I mean? Like certainly the furniture will be composed, like I know exactly where that's going, because then, or like if I'm creating a space or a scene, I'll need to know where the structures are so that I know what space the figures go into.
So I suppose, yeah, your kind of depictions of things that are very intimate to you or your surroundings kind of feature prominently, especially your family. As you've mentioned, you paint them a lot. So what interests you most about kind of painting people or the people near you?
What interests? I suppose because I know them. Yeah, like I can't really. I find it quite hard to paint people I don't know, or I find it kind of boring. I've definitely done that. Like I remember, like I don't like going to live drawing that much.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel, I think, but then I don't know what the quality is. But like I think when you know someone intimately, it is, makes. I remember thinking that even when I was quite young at 16, I remember looking at paintings of people's mas, and I don't know if it's just the context of them painting their ma, but I remember thinking, like I think some of the best paintings or the best paintings that I liked when I researched them, they seem to be done of someone that was close to the artist.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you think it's because you can read a little bit into the relationship between the people based on their...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or it helps. Yeah, when you look. Yeah. I'm not sure if that actually affects the painting, but
so when you, as you work now, what would you consider to be the most important thing to represent in your work at the moment?
Well, if you asked me that 2 weeks ago, I'd be absolutely fine. But I'm kind of going through a bit of a lull.
Okay.
What's important for me to represent at the moment? I think I've been looking at kind of like, or like the paintings that I'm looking at most at the moment are kind of really sincere and sweet. And I think that's something that maybe isn't very evident in a lot of my work or something, or maybe I made it, I don't know, actually I'm not that self-aware about my own work, but at the moment I would like to like make paintings that were kind of more about love or like done in a kind of very like sincere way, but not like a bad like I'm looking at a lot of Larry paintings at the moment and Jared Dillon, and I think Dillon's both of them magic. Really love their like subjects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I think maybe in some of my work it's apparent that like maybe I have a more complex relationship with my subjects. So I like I would like to get to I'd love to be able to make works that were about love that weren't whack, if that's possible. I think it is possible, obviously, if it's possible for me.
Yeah, I suppose someone like Dylan is very naive. Like they're very touching. Do you know what I mean? They're all cuddled up in bed. Like there's definitely a difference between your works and those. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see.
I would love to be able to do something like that.
Yeah. Very good. So yeah, like that's another thing I suppose. Like you're often kind of not very flattering towards the subjects in your works. So how do you kind of resist the urge to how have you resisted the urge to idealize your subjects, or kind of, you know, put your own spin on them?
Yeah, I think for me, like, definitely when I was younger, like I felt like realness was important, or like showing kind of warts and all, or like not painting people like they're this kind of weird classical god. Like I think, or like I don't know if it's true, like that they painted all those Renaissance paintings are done like they're also hairless because they wanted to
emulate
separate themselves or separate themselves from animals or even other races. So, but like I think I don't know. Yeah, I think people are like in general quite like ugly.
That's so optimistic. Yeah. Most people are ugly.
You know what I mean? I like or it was kind of an anti or like I suppose also when I was younger, and it's probably it's still now, like there's so many pictures of supermodels and polished like photoshopped images like all over their society. Like
I think even going back to Dylan,
painter would want to.
Dylan has a very cleansed view. He takes his subjects, he takes the parts that are good, and he presents what's good in his view. Whereas, whereas what you're doing is representing the whole, the whole view. Like as you said, you know your subjects intimately. You're giving us all of it, rather than I suppose a very clean or cleansed view from Dylan, which isn't always the case. But
no, I think it does come from a kind of childlike, you know what I mean, where you boil someone down to like a few different elements, but like I know when you actually know someone really well, you get to see
you get the warts and all.
You get
Yeah,
the
exactly.
warts and all, exactly.
Yeah,
very good.
agreed.
Glad we're in agreement.
What is something that's absolutely essential in your studio space for you? What do you have to have?
Paint.
Mm.
Sorry, no, yeah, it wasn't. What do I love most in my studio is probably I had a linseed oil dish that was given to me by a person in my class. Like, you just bought it in a second-hand shop, like this weird metal leaf-shaped dish, and I've used it for my linseed oil for like the last, when that's at 2013, 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, so it's all caked. It's got a layer of oil and paint on it, and I've used it since. So I think I definitely feel lost that I'd freak out.
Yeah.
So I was just talking as well about how experimenting outside of painting. So is there any other mediums that you've kind of been looking at? Or I know that you did some works, kind of collaborated for some works in glass. You're showing the Kevin Kavanagh. So is there anything else like that you've been interested in?
I'd love to work in stained glass again, but it's so expensive, and actually I don't have a stained glass workshop, so you have to pay quite a lot of money to make that. So if anyone wants to commission me to make a stained glass window,
you know where I am.
I'd like to make prints, like make something more affordable, like work with a printers and do, I don't know, etchings or something like that. Just because, it's a funny thing about being an artist, or like where you make paintings and like you make paintings of the closest people to you, and they can't afford them. And then, I think something that was still handmade, like something more than like a GK print. Yeah. Like making like an actual print.
Hand colored
could be a more affordable price would be nice.
Good.
You obviously represent a lot in your work, this idea of the kind of surreal, or, spaces, as you put it earlier on, that are definitely from your view or your head, but are put in a surreal context. Do you think that these have a symbolic value to you? Why does it interest you to create spaces in this kind of surreal manner?
Surreal manner, spaces. Are you talking about the actual spaces, like that I decide to set the paintings in?
Yeah.
Like, I suppose, like most of my paintings are set at home, which obviously has a value to me.
Yeah.
Then obviously I've set like maybe 2 in McDonald's, and then that would, that interests me because it kind of, I feel like McDonald's kind of transcends like time and class, age, and or like a kind of, or like they're the same everywhere. It's this kind of space that could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And then we're out within pubs. That's obvious as well. It's like just where kind of the spaces are kind of obvious, but then the composition of the spaces is not really intended to be surreal. It's more I don't know. It's like the spaces, I'm kind of just arranging them so that I can fit all of the symbols in, like, so that I know kind of before I start painting if it's well planned. Like, I need this part of this person. I need I need this bit, and I need these objects.
Yeah.
And I kind of need to figure out a way of warping the space to fit all of the symbols in.
Do you think that's why you have an interest in painting objects, or including them within your in the composition of the painting?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like anytime I put in an object that isn't necessary or like essential, I feel like I've made a mistake. I've done that quite a lot recently, which is annoying me. Where I'm kind of, I really don't like having to fill space. Like, I hope that if I compose properly, that there wouldn't be there wouldn't be that space that needed to be filled by just something random. I'll have already warped it enough so that the only the essential things have space in.
You've been involved in leading a lot of workshops recently, the RHA, down where I'm from in Dunmore East as well.
Dunmore East?
Yeah,
You've talked about that before.
Yeah. So
I'm
I'm born in Dublin, but I've lived in Dunmore. My mum's from Dunmore, and I lived in Dunmore for more than half my life. So
cool.
a lot of the guys down there. But you've been involved in them workshops. Is that something that's rewarding for you? Do you get something back from that?
Yeah, mate, I love teaching. Yeah.
And you were down in Dunmore very recently. What did you do down there in art form?
Me and my friend Jolt Basti, painter, we just did a 3-day course on double portraiture, so the students will have to get 2 paintings. They usually bring someone close to them, or 2 pictures, or 2 multiple image sources for 2 different sitters, and then the first day is composition, and they try and work out how the best way to arrange them in to sort of, I suppose, double portraiture being about the distance between 2 people, or the space in between them, and kind of helping them compose that. And then the second day Jolt will do more practical kind of color mixing and underpainting, and then the third day we'll just try and help them finish or progress the painting a little bit more.
How did you end up down in Dunmore? How did you end up in art form?
I think they asked Jolt to give a class, and then at the time Jolt didn't want to do a class on his own, so he asked me. I think that's how most of my teaching has come out of Jolt being asked, and then me tagging along.
You tagging along, yeah.
I don't know, yeah. That might be wrong. That might be right for other places.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Yeah. If that's a kind of rewarding part of painting, what's the most difficult part of painting for you?
The most difficult part of painting is, well, obviously, it's the fear of the future.
Oh.
Yeah. Will I ever make enough money from this?
Yeah.
Because if you had a house there, and even a small regular income, I think painting could be extremely fun. I don't think it would have any downsides.
Okay. Yeah.
And do you think, in terms of your work now and what's difficult for you now, I think a lot of artists are talking that it's very hard to get studio space, and it's very hard to, as you said, look to the future and go forecast how they can make money from their work, etc. Do you think that in the current climate, the way things are, do you think painting is sustainable for everyone? Or
I hope so. Yeah. I hope it's sustainable. I don't know if it will be for me, or I think, I don't know how many artists in Ireland make a proper living off solely painting, but I can't imagine it's very many.
Yeah.
Also, Ireland doesn't seem to have a huge history of collecting art.
No.
Or nowhere near Europe, or most of mainland Europe.
Yeah, definitely is.
What do they spend their money on?
This is the question.
This is the question.
There's money.
Yeah, I think
seen it. Yeah, we definitely don't have a visual culture in the same way as a literary or a musical kind of one. So I think that's definitely an element of it.
I think there's a great culture of I'm not going to say negativity, but everyone thinks on the negative, and saving is a culture. The idea of spending or using your money to support an artist, or to buy work or collect work is something that's new. It's a new perspective, I think, for for an idea of the mass population.
The emergence of a middle class definitely bolstered there being art sold and made loads in Europe, mainland Europe, and everywhere else. So I think in Ireland that was a little bit later. Kind of a little bit of a Celtic Tiger.
Celtic Tiger definitely fed into it, I think.
Yeah, Celtic Tiger activity to be an art collector, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think there is people who collect art now, and there is a growing desire to collect art in Ireland, which is great.
There definitely is. I think there's loads.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky to sell quite a lot of paintings. But I think I wonder how many artists the Irish market can sustain it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
what do you think, as you look forward to the future, what do you think are the challenges that face artists at the moment?
No, it's like if you have space and money and time, I think you're grand. Like,
yeah.
Then you're creating problems.
You're making them yourself.
I don't want peace. Yeah. Very good.
Sure.
Okay. Nice.
I think it's actually funny that you mentioned Dylan there earlier on, because in my house, the work I have by you it's hanging beside a Dylan. I'll send you a picture after this.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
I love him.
Wow.
Very,
Look at that.
very
Full
it's mad.
circle moment.
Full circle moment there. Yeah.
Only
Cool.
on
So we're
this
gonna do a quick fire round now.
Yeah.
They're quick fire questions, nothing difficult.
Some of the
Nice
toughest
to relax.
questions
When we
in
say
the
quick
world.
fire, does that mean I have to answer instantly?
No.
Okay.
It's just they're little short questions. They're not like a big thought out.
I thought like I had to go like.
No.
Okay.
There's
Good,
no
no,
need for that.
we're good. What's your favorite color?
Wait, so I'm not answering it rapidly.
No.
Take as long
Take
as
as
you
long
need.
as
So I saw that, like, I suppose a typical response might be like color combinations are more I'm more into than just like colors on their own, or like you never see a color on its own really. On its own, I think maybe it's like chartreuse or something. I suppose everyone loves that now.
So in vogue.
Okay.
Very good.
And what combinations you like? Just
Combinations, like I love like a muddy one beside a fluorescent one, but maybe like a rich one. So like, I don't know if you say fluorescent for bright, and then maybe like a kind of what would be the muddy one, where you could kind of like, I don't know, kind of a yellowy brown, and then a rich one like very, I don't know, vibrant maroon or something. I like when they like there's like three different or colors with different frequencies beside each other.
Yeah.
They were like, but like not when they have a different frequency.
Yeah. What's the most treasured work you've painted?
In my house, there's only one figurative painting that like I haven't sold or like I wouldn't sell because my nan really likes it.
Okay.
It's a painting called Self-Portrait with a Scornful Girl. The Scornful Girl is an Egon Schiele painting. And then in second year of college, I painted myself with my arm around her. It was a project. Like they said, you had to rework like a painting. So then I really liked her, or like her attitude. So then I
Her vibe.
put myself in with her.
Very cool. Very cool.
Love it. Yeah. What's your death row meal?
Death row meal?
Yeah. So then you're being put to death and you have one last meal.
Yeah. Am I being put to death?
It depends on how
you're
well.
safe. You're safe.
Yeah. It depends on how well the rest of the podcast goes. Yeah.
Death row. I'm really not planning on doing anything that warrants that.
Good.
What would I have? What's like my favorite comfort food? I suppose I'm looking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say just like a Goodfellas oven pizza and like Hellman's mayonnaise.
I
And
like
it's in my body or something.
What a way to go.
Yeah. Jeez.
The way I came out.
Yeah.
In this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
So, if you had to spend a day with an Irish artist, living or otherwise,
Otherwise.
dead, living or dead,
Limbo.
Yeah, not in limbo. They're in purgatory. Sorry, you can't talk to them. If you had to spend a day with an Irish artist, living or dead, who would you spend that day with? And
Jared Dillon's Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts, right?
Yeah, it counts.
It's Northern Irish.
He is Northern
Yeah,
Irish.
Northern
But
Irish.
that counts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared Dillon, yeah, we've already talked about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
See what
Any
he has to
idea
say.
where you'd spend it with him?
I don't know, am I going back to him or is he coming forward to me?
Whichever you like.
Whatever, I'll go back to him and I'll go watch him paint in the west of Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we're at the stage of the podcast. We ask you what's happening with you at the moment. What are you doing? Who's representing you? where can people learn more about you or try and get hold of your work? Let us know.
So I'm with Kevin Kavanagh Gallery, and I have a show. The working title of the show is Fancy Situations.
Okay.
That's going to be in Kevin Kavanagh in June.
Fabulous.
And I have prints for sale in the Samhain exhibition.
Copper House.
I don't know when this comes out, but it's tomorrow, I think.
It'll be available.
And I have some prints for sale for myself, and I've got like I think the National Gallery are still selling prints as well of Me Ma Heal Me.
Okay.
And that's where you can Oh, and then I'm in a show in Trinity that's soon. Do you know this thing that's coming out?
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard about it, all right.
You can put it in the thing, or can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But I'll be there.
Listen, you'll be there. Yeah, 100%. People will see.
The paintings are there. Like everything apart from the name.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a million for coming on the podcast.
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for asking me.
Yeah. No. If you want to hear more about Herman's Auctions, you can do so by looking us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Cut those cameras.
It's the first time I realised the camera there when you said looking directly into it.
Staring at it,
Staring at the
best outro ever. You can also find out more at herman.ie. If you want to find out more about the podcast, you can have a look on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well at See Through Podcast. And obviously, if you're looking for Sal, you can find it more on Instagram, presumably.
Instagram's the best way to find me. Yeah, I don't have a website or anything. I'm gonna make one when I grow up.
One day.
Well, look, thanks a million.
Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody.